Okay, today's keys to success for those of you who are keeping count is 107. And we're going to talk about vitamin D today, and we're going to talk about some specifics relative to vitamin D. I'm Dr. Martin Rutherford, certified functional medicine practitioner and chiropractor.
Dr. Randall Gates, board certified chiropractic neurologist, also a chiropractor.
So we're going to talk about vitamin D. Vitamin D plays a big part in what we do. I think the world knows about vitamin D now, and yet there's still a lot of confusion about it based on Dr. Gates's experience with chatting with you and directing you through your programs, and confusion about how much you should take and when you should take it. And more is not necessarily better in certain circumstances, and a lot more is definitely not necessarily better. And it just seemed like it was time to do this. We're moving into winter from summer, so what do we need them to know about vitamin D? And if you stop taking it, you need to hear this, because you are going to need to take it if you have an autoimmune problem.
So as we were discussing yesterday in the office, vitamin D fuels a part of your immune system that helps to regulate your immune system and bring balance to it. Frequently, vitamin D goes down in the winter months because we're not in the sun, especially here in northern Nevada. I think we're at 41 degrees of latitude, so we're pretty high. And on our most, well, let's say as you get closer to December, even if you're standing outside pretty much in a bathing suit, you're not going to get any vitamin D at our latitude, or very little. So due to that, we recommend our patients take vitamin D. Typically in the summer months, I bring the vitamin D levels down to around 5,000 IUs. But we do recommend you get checked this time of year. It's very easy to just call the front desk, say, hey, I want my vitamin D checked. That way we can look at it. And if we need to, we'll raise the dose back up to 10,000 IUs, or maybe 5,000 is good, or maybe 2,000 IUs is good. But we need to figure out your right vitamin D level, especially given that we have a lot of autoimmune patients and we're in the midst of cold and flu season already. Cold and flu season seems to start earlier and earlier every year. September was a really bad month for a lot of our patients. So that's my clinical data.
And vitamin D is pretty well known to be connected to sunlight, but when patients come in here, their vitamin D in the beginning is sometimes it's like so 15 low, or something like that. Right. And that's not entirely because they're not getting out in the sun.
No,
so
and
you might want to, because the reason you have to take it in such high doses is because you have an autoimmune problem.
Exactly. And we have a colleague here. We've been graced with her presence to be here. So we're discussing a lot of things about what we're doing. And we're discussing the two sides to the immune system. There's a Marine Corps side that does the hand-to-hand combat bacteria and viruses. There's more the Air Force side that does precision killing. And typically in autoimmune disease, one side is dominant. For example, if you have allergies, then typically the Air Force side is dominant. But vitamin D helps to bring balance to those two sides of your immune system. So that's really why vitamin D is so critical, because to mount an efficient and a normal immune attack, you need a balance between the Air Force and the Marine Corps. One side gets out of balance, you get autoimmune disease, plain and simple.
There we go.
So that's the data.
There you go. So that's it. That's vitamin D. These are reminders. Some of these we're redoing so that we can use them in a more organized fashion during your programs. But in the end, we've come to understand that a lot of these things that we've gone over have bear repeating based on what we're seeing in the clinic. And so that's why we're reviewing vitamin D again for the second or third time. So, okay, so we'll talk to you next week and have some more pearls that'll hopefully help you get through the program. And once you're through it, hopefully help you to stay better. So
call and get your vitamin D checked. We'll see you next week.